These overhead hang stretch variations have become a staple of my daily mobility to ease elbow and shoulder pain, improve overhead arm positioning, and really stretch the lats and the long head of the triceps, which attach into the scapula. You can use a TRX. You can also use a stick, which allows you to kind of hinge and self-assist as you do it, going with both arms and also one arm, kind of working imbalances between sides. I also love using one of my parallel bars to really kind of get that stretch going from the hinge and mix between underhand grip, which is going to test your mobility more, especially that external rotation of the shoulder, but also some overhead work as well. Doing it from the hinge will allow you to self-assist more and unload yourself. Doing it from the knees with a nice pad for the knees to kind of take some pressure off and get comfort from both an underhand and overhand will increase the intensity. There's more load coming through. It also really prep you for the abs wheel, which is a big part of our old school abs core training. So it gets the mobility in place, so the abs wheel is much easier to do beyond setting the stage for big triceps. The dragon flag was a staple in the legend Bruce Lee's training. It was also a featured exercise in one of the awesome training montages in Rocky IV. Now, this exercise trains total body tensioning. It will absolutely light up your lower abs, but the hardest part really is for the lats and the upper body, as you really have to hook yourself in and maintain positioning. And the soreness in the lats is kind of unreal the next day, so be ready for that. You can hook your arms over a bench. You can also hold on to a very sturdy or stable pole that is so rooted that your body weight will not affect it, won't tilt or turn. Now, if you can't do the straight-legged version, you can go eccentric only by using bent knee on the way up and then go as low as you can on the way down, leg straight, and just kind of reset that positioning. Going with a wide straddle or V-shape will also make it easier because not as much weight is forward. You can also hold different ranges of motion of the movement and pump between the tucked and straight-legged position to kind of build isometric strength at multiple angles, starting higher and building to a lower angle. This really kind of helps set the tone for the exercise. And beyond that, you can also go one-legged straight, one-legged tucked, a way to kind of, again, unload, get more stability, but kind of start getting into that full range of the exercise as best you can. Beyond these basic progressions, you can do short lever, which is basically a reverse crunch. We've been training that in the old school abs program, so you can always go back to this. In fact, you'll find even more strength and stability because of how rooted you are with the overhead hook. Now, mobility-wise, this is a straight-legged option to help build mobility in both the hips and the lower back. Also, the hamstrings, go very slow with it. It's great in warm-ups. It's great in off-day active recovery drills as well. I also love to work in this second drill, which is just straight-legged hamstring and hip flexor mobility activation sequences, just to kind of get that range of motion. Again, it's easier to alternate from the top, harder to alternate from the bottom, so you can kind of regress that way. And then you can also do this kind of hang off, which really stretches the hip flexors on the down leg, and then you work on just kind of activating and increasing hip flexion on the top leg, even adding that leg pump to get into the hamstrings as well. So these will help a ton. The abs wheel is one of the few exercises that actually really tears up the deep abdominal muscle fibers in a good way. That transverse abdominis underneath your superficial big six-pack muscles, very important for stabilizing the spine. And because of the slow eccentric nature of this, it really stretches and strengthens that area. So it'll bulletproof your back. It'll also really carve out those abs in a real nice way. Now, if you're new to it, squeeze a ball between your legs to increase pelvic floor activation and improve lower back positioning. You only go as far as you can, keeping the arms straight and preventing the excessive hyperextension of the low back, and you can make it even harder by elevating the knees to increase the range of motion, one of my favorite options. And again, you can see how much shoulder mobility you're getting with this. Make it harder with the same weight, your body weight, by doing 1.5 reps or pulsing reps where you kind of stay out in the end range or stretch position, increasing time under tension in the more challenging phase of the exercise. And again, you want to take at least 3 to 5 seconds to go out. Now, whether you go with a weight vest or just your body weight only, you can go eccentric only, 3 to 5 seconds out, coming to the belly, and then just resetting off the knees. That's a nice way to kind of bridge the gap. Or if you want to add a weight vest, you can start building up that strength in a super maximal way beyond your body weight. Another great option that anyone can do is a TRX or ring fallout. Same concepts apply. Tight glutes, maintain that good tight plank position. You can use sliders as well, which kind of train the arms independently, and the surface can make that easier or harder based on whether it's carpet or rubber floor. And here's a bodyweight option: plank walkbacks and also push-up walkouts. Not as good, but it will work. The Copenhagen or adductor plank is one of the single best groin and oblique exercises in the game. Now, you can just hold it, elevating off of a bench, table, ideally having a padded surface there so it doesn't bother the foot or ankle. You can also do hip dips or bottom leg runners with the leg bent at 90-degree angles to kind of get the hip flexors and glutes going as well, and dynamically challenge your ability to stabilize in that lateral frontal plane, but also anti-rotation too, because you want to tilt or turn while you're applying these unique dynamic forces. I like work periods of 30 to 60 seconds per side. You can't properly grow your glutes and build an amazing butt without developing strong, flexible hamstrings. And that's why I love the glute ham raise, which is basically a kneeling hip hinge. We're isolating the hip flexion extension component, getting the glutes, the high hamstrings, the low hamstrings as knee flexors, but also even the upper calves or gastrocnemius muscles because of the nature of the exercise, especially when hooking the heels or the Achilles area on a very stable structure like a rolling pad or a bar with a bar pad, or also some other options here coming up as well. But a nice good 3 to 5 second lowering is key. Hands behind the lower back is easier. Arms behind the head, overhead prisoner style, is more challenging with the same load, but really go slow on the eccentric, trying to get your nose to the floor with that good positioning. You can also squeeze a roller between the legs and just hold it isometrically to kind of build that initial starting strength, or do the reps full range while squeezing. Again, more pelvic floor activation, more stability, less stress in the low back. You can also set up a variety of hacks using the wall or a bench or aerobic set, and you can modify with a hand walkout too to kind of assist you on the way out, or just go with a ball leg curl. Here I'm using a 50-pound medicine ball, which is actually loaded.